In this video, I'm going to be going over 100 tips and tricks for Ark Survival Ascended. I think a lot of these are probably going to be for more newer players, but there could be some ones that help out some older players too. But anyway, let's begin. My first tip is you can easily get fiber from seaweed. Normally you harvest it from plants, you get a bunch of berries, and then you end up not getting fiber sometimes, or just not getting that much of it. But if you want fiber specifically, you can harvest it from these seaweed plants, and that's all you get from them. And you get quite a bit. You get a lot more than just harvesting them with your hand on normal plants. Number 2 is you can dismount in any direction just by holding either the stick on controller or on keyboard and mouse pressing A or D. It'd be the left stick on controller, but you just hold it either left or right, and then that whatever direction you're holding it, you dismount in, which is good. Like if you're on the side of a cliff or something, you don't want to fall off and die. You can pick which direction, which is nice. And number 3 is you can actually drink while mounted. Right here, I had to be in super deep water, but normally you can go in pretty shallow water and you don't even have to get off. You can just press your canteen or your water jar and it will just fill it up and you'll take a drink of water, not even having to get off your mount. Number 4 is shoulder pets actually give a weight reduction on everything you put in their inventory. So if you have something like right here, I have 93 weight in total from holding these foundations. But if I put those same things onto my Dimorphodon or my shoulder pet here and then pick it up, I'm able to walk around just fine. And I have like around 50 weight now in my inventory, so it helps a lot. And then you can just open your shoulder pet and put stuff in it whenever you need to. Number 5 is you can choose which resource you want to harvest when you're harvesting resources. So if you pull up the little menu there and go to the right, you can harvest options. So I'm going to set the Enki to harvest only metal. And then when I go out, I'm not going to overload on stone or flint or anything. It's just going to harvest metal, and that's all you're going to get when you do this. It's kind of a new feature, but it's a super useful one. And I definitely recommend using it when you're harvesting resources. Number 6 is on the island, you can easily get oil, or at least in the early game, from these new oil rocks. They're not new, but they're new to Ark Ascended. You can find them like at the bottom left side of the map, and they don't give you a ton of oil, but if you just need some oil early game and don't want to have to go all the way to the Arctic for some, then you can get some here pretty easily. Number 7 is if you have an otter, it's the best for holding artifacts because it's the only creature in the game that can hold multiple of the same artifact, which you can't do or your creatures can't do except the otter, which is also good because it's a shoulder pet too. You can throw them all on here and get as many as you want, which is super useful. And number 8 is the mantis can actually have armor on it, specifically gloves. You can put the gloves in the hand slot, and then you combo that with having a really nice saddle, and then you have really nice gloves. You can have a ton of armor for the mantis and make it super durable. And number 9 is you can get gigahearts from the Carcharodontosaurus. Like I said, they're pretty much the same size, and they're very similar creatures, so I guess it makes sense. But if you can't find any gigas, but you can find the Carchar, you can easily get, or not easily, but you can get a gigaheart from them. And number 10 is some tips about rafts. First off is you can actually hide the sail. That's not the main tip, but I thought I'd mention it if you didn't know it already. But other than hiding the sail, is if you're using a raft, you need to stay very close to the shorelines and try and keep in shallow waters because the lead sickness will come and destroy your boat. And like I said, if you're trying to avoid those, the best way to do it is by staying close to the shorelines because they're so big they can't get into those tiny little shores. So that's the best place to be. And number 11 is that you can split meat into stacks, which will allow you to get way more spoiled meat. So if you're trying to get a bunch of spoiled meat, the best way to do it is just to split a bunch of normal meat into stacks of 1, and then it will all spoil at the exact same time, and you can turn a stack of 40 into, a stack of 40 spoiled meat instantly. And number 12 is if you hold the pad on PS5, and I don't know what it is on the other consoles, but you can if you pull that menu basically, you can change the FOV of any creature you're riding on, so you can make it more zoomed in or you can zoom it out. I usually have it zoomed all the way out because it's just how I like it, but it's pretty nice. Number 13 is you can move small creatures with a grappling hook, which could be useful for maybe some harder creatures you're trying to tame that are small anyway, and you need to move them somewhere safer. That's an easy way to do it. I don't know if you really use it on dodos, but you can if you want to. And number 14 is you can use the toilet to instantly spoil meat. All you gotta do is put the meat in there and then take a poo in there and flush the toilet. Of course, you have to have irrigation connected to it. Once you do that, you also get the refreshed bonus, which is nice. It gives you 33% extra XP, but you also instantly spoil all the meat in there. So you can fill that thing full of spoiled meat or regular meat and then spoil it. Number 15 is you can fit pteranodons through double doorways, which should probably be good in mainly PvP, so that way you can protect your pteranodons from getting killed off, and then you can still, you know, actually fit them in there without having to use like a cryopod or anything to get them in your base. Number 16 is you can use the mammoth to spray water on yourself. If you're near a water source and you do a roar, it sprays water on you, and once it does that, it actually fills up, so it can do another spray anywhere, so you can go more inland and not be near water at all and do another roar, and it will still spray water on you after you already did it. Number 17 is you can hatch eggs with a Dimetrodon. The Dimetrodon is basically just the dino version of an AC unit. That's like all it's good for, but if you don't have access to AC units, you're not high enough level or anything, you can just tame one of these guys and hatch eggs that way instead. It's not going to work on all eggs, but most of them it will. Number 18 is you can irrigate plants with the Morellatops. You just got to enable irrigation, and if it has water in it, it will irrigate the plants that it's sitting next to. Number 19 is you can actually color light sources. So for example, the torch or the glow stick, which the glow stick has more of a red light, which isn't the best for trying to see stuff. You can switch the color if you do the 5 slot on painting. I'd recommend to change it to something like a blue, because white doesn't work on torches, but white does work on glow sticks. As you can see, it's a lot easier to see with the white glow stick, and compared to the red, it's a lot better. And then, like I said, do blue, like I did baby blue for the torch, and then that seemed to work pretty well, and I could see a lot better than if it were just regular orange. I have a few more torch tips. First off, you can put torches on saddles, so that way you don't have to either carry them or just do anything with them. You can put them on pretty much any saddle, I think, and then you're able to see at nighttime, which of course is pretty useful. I'd definitely recommend doing that if it's dark. And number 21 is you can scare Troodons with torches. Not just torches, but any form of fire. If you set them on fire, it'll scare them away, which is pretty great because they're super annoying and really hard to deal with in the early game, but torches can get rid of them. And number 22 is you can actually put your torch on the belt. If you press L2 or right click, it's going to put it on your crotch, which doesn't really look very safe at all, but it does work. It's super useful. You can pull out any other item and use that while you have the torch on your crotch. Number 23 is if you drink wyvern milk, it actually gives you like some insulation. So for example, I'm sitting in the Arctic biome right now and I'm not cold at all, and I have 800 cold resistance just from drinking one thing of wyvern milk. It's really great for that. It mainly just keeps you warm. I don't think it keeps you cool, but if you need to keep yourself warm, that's great. And number 24 is you can use otters for insulation. So as you can see there, I had 280 cold resistance, but when I picked up the otter and used it, I went from freezing to just being cold, and then I have about 450, so it'll definitely help you a lot, especially if fur isn't enough. And number 25 is if you're having problems with fog, you can actually turn fog off entirely if you do r.volumetric fog 0 in the command list. And then you can also turn clouds off as well, which I definitely recommend doing on the island because they look terrible on the island. On Ragnarok, they look a lot better. I wish they would just move those clouds over to this map, but you can see a lot better without those. And number 26 is the Sarco actually is not attacked by piranhas at all, which normally piranhas are like super aggressive. So if you're getting annoyed by piranhas, you can just tame up a Sarco and go underwater and you won't be attacked by them at all. Number 27 is you can use direwolves to find explorer notes. You can use the little sniff mechanic and it will find them, which is good if you want to get the XP bonuses from them. You can easily tame a direwolf and go find some explorer notes that way. Number 28 is you can block Capros from grabbing you with a shield, which Capros are super annoying and they can dismount you, but if you have the shield you can just block them and then they'll just like bounce right off. Number 29 is you can respawn with the implant in your inventory, so if you need to respawn for any reason, you hover over it for 5 seconds and then there's a option to respawn, which you can do, which of course, like I said, is great if there's any situation where you just need to respawn real quick and there's no other way to die. And number 30 is the Ichthy is immune to torpor from the, I don't know how to pronounce them, the little underwater scorpion things, but that means you can use the Ichthy to farm them, which normally farming these things is really annoying because you pass out pretty much instantly, but you don't have to worry about that with the Ichthy when you're killing them, which is weird because normally this thing sucks at killing stuff. Next I have some building tips just to make your builds look a little bit better. This isn't really for PvP, but the first one is using the quarter like roofs to make some overhanging roofs. I think it looks really good and it definitely adds some more other than just being flat. Number 32 is outlining your builds with pillars. Like I said, I think it just adds a little bit more to the build, honestly, doing something, either adding it at the bottom or on the sides. And number 33 is using some different materials, not just using all one, like all wood, for example, or all stone. If you can use thatch as roofs, which I think looks amazing on either stone or wood, but you can also combine stone like at the bottom as a base for, and then wood on top to make it look a little bit better. Like I said, I like doing the stone and wood sometimes, or sometimes I just do wood and thatch, like for thatch roofs, and then just do wood. But either way, I think the stone looks pretty good too. Like just combining different types of materials together and not just only using one. Number 34 is if you want some glass walls, you can use greenhouse walls, and they look pretty nice. They don't look the best, but I feel like they look pretty good. And it definitely, like, I like having some of these somewhere in my base. And also, if you have the like DLC, the Bob's Tall Tales one, you can just use the like frontier glass walls, and I think those look better. But you could, obviously not everyone's gonna have that DLC, and you don't have to have the greenhouse wall specifically. If you want to do the glass frontier walls, you can just put it on any wall. And number 35 is you can use upside down railings, which I think is really good for detailing. For example, I used it on this bridge here. I just placed a bunch of upside down railings across the side here, and I think it looks a lot better with the upside down railings. There's just a lot of different areas where I think you could use these, like on openings like that, for example. But I also use them like on the edge of overhanging roofs and stuff, and I feel like it looks good on those as well. Number 36 is a good way of keeping storage. If you need a bunch of storage bins but you don't want to have them like taking up space in your base, you can kind of build stuff like this, which is using the quarter ceilings. You can place those, and then you can place storages on the side, and they will overhang, which means you can still access them, but they'll be like up, so they're not in the way of all your other things like your smithy and all that. You can just keep them up. I think it looks really nice too, so overall I think it's a good way of keeping storage. And number 37 is an easy way to move heavy items, which is basically just pick them up, and then you can throw them on the ground, and then go to the spot where you threw them, and then pick them up again, and then just rinse and repeat till you get them to where they need to go. It's pretty easy. And number 38 is you can use bison milk instead of wyvern milk to raise wyverns. So if you don't have a way of getting wyvern milk, but you still want to raise a wyvern, you can just tame up a couple bison and then breed them, and then once you breed them, the mother will start making milk every hour, which you can use to then feed your little wyverns, which is way easier, and it seems kind of overpowered, but you know, might as well use it. And number 39 as the Basilo gives you insulation, and it doesn't give you just a little bit, it gives you a ton. So here I have 119 cold resistance normally. If I want to get on the Basilo and start moving around, it goes all the way up to 700, which is pretty insane. Basically means you're not going to ever be cold when you're on the back of this thing at all, because it has so much cold and heat resistance as well. Number 40 is you can use the Utyrannus Furor to actually make a torpor increase. It doesn't make the torpor increase, but it basically makes it to where when you shoot it with a dart or something, that dart will do more torpor than it normally would. I don't really know how useful this actually is. I've never used it, but I thought I'd mention it in case someone wanted to use it. Number 41 is Uties can scare Perlovias out of the ground. So it's good for like caves where there's a bunch of Perlovias, or you see one but you don't want to get near it, you can just scare it out of the ground. Number 42, if you get stuck in a bear trap by either your own or an enemy one, you can throw a plant species Z seed at it, or not seed, but plant at it, and then that will just instantly free it. So you can get out of it early, which is pretty nice. Number 43 is you can force a flying creature to land with a whip. You just whip it and it instantly lands, which I feel like is how the force land whistles should work, is it should just instantly land wherever it is, but it's not. Number 44 is you can preserve honey like infinitely just by putting it onto a fishing rod. So you can do that, and then whenever you need the honey, you just take it off of the fishing rod, but it'll last forever when you put it on a fishing rod, so pretty nice. Number 45 is if you want to go fishing, you can fish off of the back of a Pelagornis. Normally you have to do it from a chair, which means you can't really move. I mean, you can move the chair, but you have to do that every time you want to fish. But you could land on the water with a Pelagornis and then fish off the back of it instead, which I think is a lot easier way of fishing. And number 46 is the Pelagornis also gets polymer. It harvests a ton of polymer. I think it's the best mainly on the island where you don't have really that much options, but for killing penguins you can harvest it like penguins with it. Baby penguins give the most, which is pretty brutal, but it's the best way of getting polymer. So number 47 is the leeches are not attracted to the baryonyx at all, so if you want to avoid leeches entirely, which is a good idea because the leeches suck, then you can use the baryonyx and not be attacked by them at all. And number 48 is babies give you prime meat. So if you're new to Ark Ascended, you might not know that. Of course, it's kind of common knowledge, I think, now that Ark Ascended's been out for a while, but if you didn't already know that, you can kill baby wild dinos, and they all give you prime meat, which is a super easy way to get prime meat, and I definitely recommend doing that. At number 49 is a tip mainly about sleeping bags, and it's to always use them before you're going into any kind of cave, or I guess maybe even taming a dangerous creature, but mainly I'd say always put a few sleeping bags out before you go into a cave. And another tip is to always keep parachutes on you as well. This is something I've done for a few years. And yeah, if you can make parachutes, make them so you can have them on you. If you either need to jump off something while you're being chased, or if you are flying around on your dino and you accidentally jump off of it just by accidentally pressing triangle or the button to get off, you could die from fall damage. So having a parachute is nice in those kind of situations. Number 50 is an easy way to tame big creatures. Either with a RG or a Quetzal, you can pick up the creature you want to tame, and this only works if you have 2 people, but if you can have one person pick them up and the other person knock them out with trank arrows or trank darts, and it's a super easy taming method. Number 52 is if you want to tell if there's a saddle on a creature that you have cryopotted but you don't want to throw it out, you can just look at the weight. As you can see, the Triceratops with the saddle had 20 weight, while the one that didn't just had 0. So if it's anything above 0, then that means it has a saddle on it. Number 53 is an easy way to get metal in the early game, which is by harvesting river rocks. They're these small little, like, round rocks that you can find all across rivers, and usually they're always near some sort of source of water, but they give you just a little bit of metal, which is great in the early game, so you don't have to go all the way up to the top of a mountain to get some metal and then haul it all the way back. You can just easily get a few pieces of metal to build some of that early starting gear. Number 54 is if you're being attacked by something on a creature that has a terrible turning radius, you can just dismount the creature, and then your creature will automatically turn like on a dime and then start attacking them. It's kind of dangerous because you can also be hit while you dismount, but if you do need to turn around, there's pretty much no other option, or else your creature is going to get killed because they have terrible turning radius. And this next tip is you can actually steal babies just by picking them up. You can pick up baby creatures that you normally couldn't pick up when they're adults, which of course makes sense, but you assume with some game mechanics that might not work, but it does. So if you tame a baby creature and you don't have a cryopod yet, you can pick it up with either like an RG or a Pteranodon or something. Number 56 is if you're looking for easy ways to get polymer, there's different creatures you can kill that give organic polymer. There's the Kairuku, which you can find on any island with like a Arctic biome. Then there's the Mantis, which can be found like in the dunes and volcanic biomes. And then Carcanos are on Aberration, which are probably the hardest of the 3 to kill, but they give you a lot of organic polymer, so it's worth it. Number 57 is you can remove the super tall grass on some of the maps. You just put in the command, which is grass.sizescale0. And you could change it a little bit. I put it like 0.4 here, I think. So it's like not as much as there would normally be, but there's still grass. So you can kind of tweak it and make it the way you like. Number 58 is always have a magnifying glass on you. They're kind of expensive to make, like in the early game, but they're always super nice to have because you can see the torpidity and health of something you're taming. So you don't accidentally kill it when you're trying to tame it, and you can know exactly when it's going to pass out. Number 59, if you're looking for a way to get a ton of XP, this is a kind of simple way to do it. It's kind of a process, but you can get a lot of XP. Basically, using the Thyla and the bleed attack, you can hit a Titanosaur, which will slowly kill it. I'd say it takes about 10 to 15 minutes to get it all the way down, but don't kill it with the bleed attack. Once it gets like down to like a few thousand health, just finish it off with a crossbow. You can't use normal guns because Titanosaur has resistance to those, so you have to use a crossbow, but you can use like a powerful crossbow and then kill it. And I'd recommend like having some sort of XP boost on you, maybe get an Explorer Note before you kill it, or like drink a Broth of Enlightenment, and you'll get like 6 or 7 levels. And number 60 is using a cat. You can scare away most pest kind of creatures, so like the Ichthyosaurus or Ichthyornis that steal stuff from you. It can scare Pegos and Microraptors, all those annoying like shoulder pet creatures that just annoy you out in the wild. This cat will scare, which is honestly one of the reasons why it's my favorite shoulder pets now in the game, because those creatures make this game so annoying, but you can get rid of them with the cat. At number 61, I'm going to be going over some more Scorched Earth related tips, but the first off is to always eat cactus sap in the early game. Of course, food can be kind of hard to get, but this is a good way of getting water too, and food. They give you good food and water. Number 62 is you can use a boomerang for torpor. Surprisingly, a lot of people don't actually know this. And if you are using it, try and aim it at the ground so that way it comes back to you faster and you can do more hits with it. And you can use this for knocking stuff out in the early game. And I think it's probably the best way to knock stuff out in the early game. Definitely way better than a slingshot. Number 63 is you can actually harvest wood with a Morellatops, which would be good for getting wood in the early game. If you harvest these plants right here with a Morellatops, they actually give you a decent amount of wood. Like I said, if you don't have access to like a thorny dragon to harvest wood or like a chainsaw or something, this could be a good way to get it in the early game. Number 64 is to just always carry bolas around you. This is something I've done for a long time, but I would recommend everyone doing it. If you can make bolas, just always have them on you, because you can use them if something's attacking you to just stop it entirely and then run away. And if there's multiple things attacking you, well, you can make multiple bolas and then bola all of them. Number 65 is at some point you can actually become immune to dying from fall damage. I think it's around like the 500 health mark, but as you can see there, I fell basically like from the world height and I only took like 400 fall damage. So if you get, I think it's around like 540 health or something like that, you can become immune. Number 66 is you can harvest rock golems, which actually give you quite a lot of resources, especially if you harvest them with like an Anki or something. You can just get all kinds of different good minerals from them. Number 67 is if you're playing on Aberration, you get hit by these spores. You can actually eat a certain type of mushroom to get rid of the effects. It's the aggravative mushroom, I think it's called. And then that one will get rid of the effects entirely. And if you're in the blue zone, you can eat the aquatic mushrooms, and that will get rid of the blue freezing spores that hit you. So those are definitely life-saving tips, because those can kill you easily. Number 68 is the acerbic mushroom, is basically the narco berry of Aberration. It gives you torpor. I think you can even use it in like as a replacement for narcotics in pretty much any place, or not narcotics, but narco berries. Number 69 is you can charge a tech suit on Aberration if you go into the element water or the pink water. It'll just slowly charge it over time, and you don't die when you go into it too, which is quite nice. And number 70 is you can actually heal yourself with a plant species Z plant. All you have to do is stand next to it and it will give you way faster healing, as well as if you have dinos, you can heal them just by having them stand next to it, which is great for if your dinos are low on health. I've used it like after boss fights, I'll go and use it to heal my dinos. Number 71 is Aberration is the best map for metal in the game. If you go to the blue zone, all of these blue rocks give metal. If you bring like an Anki down here and then something to carry all the metal, you can just get metal. It's like so much metal. It's definitely best if you're playing on a cluster. You come over to Aberration, you can get all the metal you'd ever need. Next up is surface drops. On Aberration, the supply drops that land here are really good. And if you need some good loot, just come up here with a rock drake at night. Come during night because the day you'll die, but at nighttime you can easily get a ton of really good drops if you know what to do. And here's all the entrances to where you can get to the surface on Aberration. Number 73 is when you're on Aberration, always use a light pet, mainly because stuff like Nameless and Reapers can attack you, and these will make it to where they won't attack you, or at least the Nameless won't, and it will weaken Reapers so that way you can actually kill them, because normally they're pretty much unkillable without one. And number 74 is another Aberration one, and it's for polymer. You can actually find these polymer plants, which you can harvest with a sickle or some other dinos, and you can get a ton of organic polymer. It's like the best way to get organic polymer in the game. Number 75 is you can easily get black pearls on Ragnarok. You can find them in Vikings Bay, and it's a super easy way to get black pearls on Ragnarok. But number 76 is you can easily get silica pearls with anglers. They're actually the best thing for harvesting silica pearls, and all you do is like bite at them with the angler, and they're knockout tamed, so they're pretty easy to get. And then, like I said, you can get tons. As you can see, I have like 700, 800 silica pearls just from a few seconds of harvesting with this thing. Number 77 is you can use fish baskets to move underwater creatures. The small ones like anglers, I think, is the main thing you'd want to use this for. It's good on Aberration, where there's multiple different like giant water sources you'd want to move between, and you can easily move it with these, but they do have a spoil time. Of course, cryopods would be better, but if you don't have access to cryopods, fish baskets are the next best thing. Number 78 is you can also get polymer plants on Ragnarok in Ark Ascended, and they work just as good as they are on Aberration, and you get tons of polymer from them. You can find these ones in the giant cave that's by the castle. This is the location of it on the map here. Number 79 is you can use the Beelzebufo or the giant frog to kill like the little bugs, the mosquito guys, and it will actually turn them into spending paste, which is a good renewable way of getting spending paste because you can just wait for them to respawn and go back and harvest them and get more. It also deals bonus damage to bugs, so it's really good for getting spending paste. Number 80 is you can use the new Helicoprion to turn items into blueprints. It does have a chance of breaking them, so you need to be careful, and I'd recommend doing it on something you have multiple of. But if you need to turn something really good into a blueprint, you can use this and you have a chance of actually getting a blueprint out of it. And number 81 is you can use the Archelon to get algae, which it just naturally makes, and it's the best food for feeding like herbivores in the game. I mean, obviously kibble would be amazing, but algae feeds them a ton, and it's way better than berries. Number 82 is you can also use the Archelon to make sushi, which will restore taming effectiveness if you force feed it to a creature. So you can see there I had like 60% taming effectiveness. I think it was like 80%, and it went all the way back up to 99. So that's just an amazing use for the sushi from the Archelon. The Archelon, I think, is a must-have creature if you're going to be playing just for those two reasons alone. Number 83 is you can use the Megalosaurus for thatch. I see not many people using this thing, but I think I like it a lot just because of the amount of thatch you can get with it. You can harvest a ton super quickly, and you know, that's all it gets. You can only use the male one though. Number 84 is if you need wood. All 5 of these creatures here are great for doing so. The beaver, the mammoth, and the therizinosaur are great, and then thorny dragon's good on scorched earth. I wouldn't recommend using it on anything else. And then the roll rat is good for aberration. Number 85 is you can move overweight with a tech suit just by using the super speed thing. You'll just walk at a normal speed, but you know, you can go in one direction. You can't, it's kind of hard to move around with it, but it does work. I think it's a lot better than having to throw the items out because you can actually have a little bit more control. Number 86 is the Enforcer, does 4x damage to corrupted creatures, which makes it really good on extinction for going out into the wastelands. You can easily kill stuff in there because of how much damage you're doing. Number 87 is tech creatures will spawn at a max level of 180 instead of the normal 150. So if you need to get high level creatures, it's definitely good to find a tech variant because you can get a 180 creature out of it, which of course gives you a lot better stats and all of that. So like I said, if you're looking for the best stats possible, tech creature is the way to go. Number 88 is you can use killing tech creatures to harvest them, and you can get some pretty good resources out of it. And I think the best thing is electronics. You can get free electronics out of it. Number 89 is in extinction. You can actually harvest these tables, as well as you can harvest lampposts and benches to get materials like crystal, scrap metal, and electronics. Or not electronics, but you can get element dust, which is good on extinction for making element and for the different things you need to make on there, like the enforcers and all that. So it's a great way to get resources on that map. Number 90 is you can use rare flowers to attract normal passive creatures that can attack you. So for example, the Teapot normally flees and is super hard to tame. Not super hard, but it's hard to tame because of that. But you can easily just make it come to you. It will attack you, so you need to be careful, but it's a good way of getting it to come to you. Number 91 is the gas bags actually has one of the highest weight stats in the game, making it amazing for moving creatures around. Or not creatures, but resources. You can fill this thing with a ton of different resources or tons of different building materials. Whatever you need that's super heavy, you can fill it to the brim with the gas bags, and it's great for that. Number 92 is you can use the snow owl to heal creatures. This is one of the best uses for the snow owl. You just freeze them, and then that starts healing your creatures. I use this for like before going into boss fights, or after when I need to heal up the creatures after a boss fight, or after doing some caving, or whatever you really need. You can heal with the snow owl. Number 93 is if you steal the gems from a growl rat, it will attack you, so don't steal them right in front of it. Maybe wait till it's kind of far away, or you know you have a means of killing it before you go and steal them, because early game they can kind of destroy you. And number 94 is using the Dunkleosteus underwater to harvest your resources is one of the best ways to get resources in the game, especially on the center where there's a ton of metal underwater. But you can use it for oil and stone. Like stone, you can get tons of stone. Like you can use this thing as your main stone gatherer and get a bunch. Like I said, you can also get tons of metal and oil. All kinds of, pretty much any mineral that's underwater, you can get tons of it with the Dunkleosteus. It's definitely worth looking into. Number 95 is the Archelon, is the best creature for harvesting biotoxin, and it does bonus damage to jellyfish and harvest a bunch. As you can see, one jellyfish gives me 100 biotoxin, so it's a great way to get biotoxin. Number 96 is you can place rafts on lava. This is good if you're trying to go into the tech cave and you need more room there. You can kind of place a raft and then build a platform on there, but not that useful. Number 97 is if you need a good way of getting oil, but you don't want to go underwater, you can get it in the Arctic biome on the island. And also most Arctic biomes usually have some way of getting oil, but you can find it like on these icebergs out in the island here. Number 98 is if you're playing on console and you want to quick transfer something instead of having to drag it, you hold X on PlayStation and then you press R2 at the same time. I'm pretty sure on Xbox it would be hold A and then press RT. Number 99 in the Aberration. If you're going to play on Aberration, don't spawn in the portal zone. Even though it says easy, this is like the biggest lie ever. It's super hard, it doesn't have any water at all, and it spawns basilisks all over the place, so just don't do that. Number 100 is if you have a cat, and they actually have 9 lives. If you kill one, or if you kill your own, or it gets killed, all you have to do is harvest its body, and then open its bag, and you'll see it has a soul, which is kind of like the Oasis soul, but you can see it has a number of lives there, because they have 9 lives. You can just open it up, and then you do the consume button, so R2 on PlayStation, or like E on PC, and it just comes back to life, and you have 9 lives of these, so you can basically respawn your cat a lot, which is great. That's going to be it for this video. If you guys did enjoy it, make sure to leave a like and also subscribe. Thanks for watching, and bye.